Boys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be ranking all 34 MCU movies. Look, I've been wanting to do this video for quite a long time now, but what really pushed it over the edge, what really made me be like, yeah, I'm doing this video, is the release of Deadpool and Wolverine. You're going to see what I rank it. It's last on here. This list is in no particular order. It's kind of just what they had it at. I just looked up MCU tier list. Starting off with the OG original Ant-Man movie. Look, this movie for me is literally one of my personal favorites. This video is gonna be loaded with hot takes, like absolutely loaded with hot takes, but this movie is one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. I don't know if it's just because it's like so down street level, like you're not fighting for the multiverse and like the fate of the entire universe is at stake. You know, it's very street level, which is good. I'm gonna give Ant-Man a solid, this is a hot take, I'm giving Ant-Man an A tier. Look, Ant-Man is an A tier movie, dude. Next movie we have Avengers Age of Ultron. This movie gets a lot of hate. Understandably so, because the highs in this movie match the highs of like the original Avengers movie, but the lows in this movie are down bad, pretty bad. But still, it's a great film, but to the S tier and A tier standards of this list, I'm gonna have to put it in B tier, just because, you know, it's not quite as good as the first Avengers movie. It's just kind of, it's just there, you know? It's just there. It's a good movie, though. Next movie, we have Black Panther. A tier movie for sure. Great movie, great story. It's a good watch. I watch this movie quite frequently, actually. It's a really nice movie to watch. R.I.P. Chadwick. All right, next is Captain America Civil. This movie's a banger. And I know bang. This movie, honestly, is our first S tier. Because Spider-Man was in it. But this movie is an S-tier movie. I believe it introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man. And just like the conflicts of both sides of it. And just like, dude, it's a great, great movie. All right, Captain America, the First Avenger. This was the first Captain America film. Not a huge fan, but it's still a solid movie, like introducing the character and everything. I'm gonna have to give it a B tier just because there's way better movies. But Captain America, First Avenger is a pretty solid film. Now, a lot of these older movies, like the ones we've gone over so far, I literally like grew up with these movies, so I'm gonna be a little more biased towards these. Captain America Winter Soldier, way better story than the first one, way better stakes than the first one. This is either A or S. I'm gonna say it's A tier. It's an A tier movie. It's not quite as good as Civil War, but it's not as bad as the first Avenger. Captain America the Winter Soldier will go in A tier for right now. Ugh, Captain Marvel. Look, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I enjoy this movie. It's fun. It's a fun movie to watch. Look, it might not be like the greatest written movie. It might not be like best or the best story, but it has a great main character. Captain Marvel, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. But I really like this movie, and I'm going to put it in A tier. I'm so sorry for my actions, but it's, to me, Captain Marvel is an A tier movie. Doctor Strange. I didn't really like this movie all that much. I really didn't. I've never really liked Strange as a character in general. He plays a big part in Infinity War and Endgame, obviously, but I didn't like that they gave him his own film. It's just so, like, it feels like I'm watching what Travis Scott Astroworld sounded like, if that makes sense. It's in B tier. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This movie, for me, obviously not as good as the first one. I didn't really enjoy, like, the whole story in this movie. It is really fun. It's a lot of fun. Super colorful, per usual, and the comedy is great. But I didn't really enjoy this film as much as the first one. And honestly, it's going to be our first C tier. Ooh. That's not going to go well with the fanboys. All right, but the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, S tier. Our second S tier of the day, guys. First Guardians of the Galaxy movie is an S tier movie. Absolutely goated story. The stakes were high, but not too high to where it still seemed like street level, you know, even though they're in space. It's just a really good movie. Introduced amazing characters. Love Chris Pratt. He's a great pick for Star-Lord. I just think this is like the perfect cast right here. This is like the perfect little mini Avengers, you know? First Iron Man. I'm gonna say, to like start off the entire MCU with this movie, is a banger. By the way, it's a banger. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Really enjoy this movie a lot. It's a great movie. Iron Man 2. Look, I have really hot takes on these movies. I genuinely think Iron Man 2 is an S tier. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but Iron Man 2 is an S tier. My favorite Iron Man suit of all time is the red and silver one. That is the greatest Iron Man suit. I'm gonna get absolutely shredded in the comments, but I literally grew up on that movie. I think the first Iron Man came out in 2006, I think, or 2008. So I was way too young to watch that. I was born in 2005. And Iron Man 2 came out a little after that, and that was the first Iron Man movie I saw, first Marvel movie I ever saw. And I grew up on that movie, dude. So these movies are a little, I'm a little biased. Iron Man 2, S tier. Iron Man 3, easily an A tier movie. I mean, all the Iron Mans are either A or S. This is my second favorite Iron Man suit, the red and gold one, with a lot of the gold. I know all of them are red and gold, but shut the fuck up. Spider-Man Homecoming, S tier. Another entry into the S tier. Spider-Man Homecoming is an S tier movie. I'm really biased because the Spider-Man films, all of them, the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, all my favorite superhero movies. And it is a great movie. The story is really good. I like how they introduced Tony Stark as his mentor kind of. And it's really cool. It's street level. It's nice. Okay. Far From Home is an A tier film. It's not as grounded as the first one. It's a little more all over the place. The story kind of whiplashes you back and forth. It's a little hard to keep up at some points, but it's still a really good movie. I don't understand why Tony Stark would give super high-tech glasses that can literally nuke the world to a high school kid, but it's fine. First Avengers movie, A tier. Goated. It's a classic. We all know this movie's a classic, dude. There's nothing else to it. It's an A tier movie. Oh, this Hulk movie. I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's just not one of my personal favorites. I've seen this movie maybe twice or 3 times, and it's not one that I would go back and rewatch. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie. Thor Ragnarok. Ooh, S tier. S tier for sure. This movie has just the right amount of colorfulness, comedy, action, and drama. It's the perfect foursome. It's a beautiful movie, all right? Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really like the first Ant-Man movie. Obviously, I gave it an A tier. I'm going to have to give this one a C tier. I did not like this movie very much at all. The OG Ant-Man just set such high expectations. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp just came in it's still a fun movie to watch, but it doesn't have that same flair as the first one. All right, Thor the Dark... Yeah, that's an immediate F. I do not like that movie at all. Actually, I'm going to give it an E because there's worse movies on the list. So I'm going to give it an E. If some of these movies weren't on the list, and then it would be F, but it's E because it does get worse. All right, Thor. The original Thor is D tier. The Thor standalone movies just aren't that good, except for Ragnarok, obviously. But I don't know how I feel about these two. I just don't enjoy these as much. They're not as fun as the other movies to watch. They're obviously important to the MCU, but they're not ones that you would go back and want to watch because there's more exciting ones. All right, Black Widow. I actually did not mind this movie. I'm gonna give this movie a B. I didn't mind this movie at all. It was long overdue that Black Widow got her own movie, and her family super fun in this movie. This is a really fun watch. I've only seen this movie twice. I just always forget it exists. First time I watched it was in theaters, and the second time I watched it, I was like, oh wow, this is actually a really good movie. All right, Shang-Chi. This is actually a banger. Actually a pretty good movie. I'm gonna give it B tier. The CGI fight with the dragons and stuff at the end of the movie wasn't my favorite, but the choreography of all the fight scenes and stuff in this movie is really well done. I did not think I was going to like this movie, and then I watched it and I was like, wow, that's surprising. This is actually a pretty good movie. Eternals. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I've never seen this movie. I saw the trailers for it and I was not interested in any type of way. I've heard it is not very good, not terrible, so we're gonna give it D tier, just going off of what I know about the movie. Spider-Man No Way. Ooh. Look, this is a hot take that it's S tier. Most people would give it A or B. I think it's S tier because this is the first Marvel movie in numerous years since Endgame that they gave the people what they wanted to see. This movie is so bad, but so amazing at the same time. The story is not that good. The writing is The CGI is amazing as usual. I hate this Spider-Man suit. I hate the Iron Spider suit because it's all CGI, and the actual suits, the one in Homecoming and the one in Far From Home, are so much better. Stop putting him in this stupid Iron Spider suit. It looks terrible on screen. Like the way the eyes like light up like blue, it looks awful. It was cool in Endgame because they were like, oh, he went to space and he needed it because he would have died. Cool. Why does he still have it on a No Way Home? It looks awful. Terrible. I hate that suit so much. Multiverse of... Hated this movie. Absolutely hated this movie. I don't know why so many people love this movie. I thought, and everyone else thought, this was gonna be the movie that like kind of explained the multiverse and kind of took the confusion out of people's brains when it came to like the endless universes that there was to go through. This movie did nothing but make it even more confusing. All right, Thor, God of Love and Thunder. Oh, God. Our first F tier. Boo. Boo. I do not like this movie at all whatsoever. It is so leaning so far into the, oh my God, I'm so funny, please pick me, girl, that I hate it. It was so boring to watch. This one is just comedy the entire time. And there's a little bit of action here and there, but you have Christian Bale as your main villain, and this is the movie you put him in? I did not like this movie at all. Next, Wakanda Forever. It was a good movie. It was not better than the first Black Panther, obviously, but it was still a good movie. I like how they handled Chadwick Boseman's death, but I kind of sat through it kind of like, you know, because it's like, this wasn't supposed to be the movie. And like, the dude actually died in real life and you're like holding a funeral for him in your movie. It's just kind of off-putting at times, but it's still a good movie. B tier. Next is Endgame. Endgame. We can just go ahead and put both Infinity War and Endgame right here. We already knew they'd be S tier, guys. Ant-Man... F tier. Ant-Man Quantumania is one of the worst MCU movies I've ever seen in my entire life. This is Ant-Man we're talking about. And you have him fighting Kang, which was supposed to be like the next like Avengers villain. Come on, dude. Ant-Man's supposed to be street level fighter. And this right here, really both of these movies, but Quantumania in particular was probably the most disappointing movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm gonna put this movie in C tier. It wasn't my favorite movie. I didn't really enjoy the story all that much. I know people really like this movie, but I think they're kind of trying to milk them dry, the whole Guardians of the Galaxy series. It just didn't hit right for me. Next, we have, oh Lord, that movie is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And this is coming from someone who put Captain Marvel in A tier, which no reviewer has ever done, ever. But this movie is ass. I don't know who the hell like thought this was gonna go well, but this absolutely flopped at the box office. Wait, can I make like another? This is going in the trash can. This is a whole tier below Love and Thunder and Quantumania. This is going in trash can. All right, now for the review you've all been waiting for. Deadpool and Wolverine. Where is it going to go? I'm really torn on S or A. I really am torn on this. I'm going to put it in S. It's an S tier movie. It's an S tier movie. But the story is really overall not that good. It's an insanely fun watch. I've went to the theater and saw it 4 times. And it's August 8th. This movie came out July 26th. So it's been 13 days. It hasn't even been 2 weeks since this movie's been out, and I've seen it 4 times. It's a super fun watch, like insanely fun. And like the way they brought Wolverine, his like comic accurate suit is so amazing. I really thought this movie was going to be bad because of, you know, the way that Disney's been recently. But this movie actually was a positive surprise. Like maybe 1 or 2 too many F words. I think they said it 118 times in the movie, which is fine. It's really funny. It's a really funny movie. But like, I don't think this is going to go down as like a really well written or amazing story movie. It's just a really insanely fun watch. And the intro to this movie, whenever Deadpool is fighting everyone from the TVA with Bye 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 as the intro song, has to be the greatest intro in the entire MCU. So yeah, this is my list. Gotta zoom it out enough to see the trash can list at the bottom. This is my list. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, well, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you want me to do a tier list of next, and I'll see y'all boys in the next video. Peace, boys.